Hello, and welcome to Descriptive Writing, the English video lesson that goes with the lesson that we completed in class. So, the main tips are plan your writing. Maybe read novels to see how authors write descriptive passages. Use the five senses. And this is the best bit where you use a resource page and you can doodle or write your ideas how you want to. Let's begin with the sense of sight, making a note of all the things that you see in the description that you're going to focus on. One quick tip is use clear adjectives. Choose easy to understand words that describe what you see. You could say the red car instead of just the car. Or even better, identify that it's shiny, the shiny blue car. This helps people to picture it better. And when you look at describe and its sight, don't forget colours. So describe the colours. Mention the colour of things to make your descriptions more vivid. For instance, you could say, the sky was bright blue with fluffy white clouds. That's a much clearer picture in the reader's mind, isn't it, than just saying, the sky was nice. So don't forget, describe colours. Focus on details. This one I really like, so I like to think of it like a camera when you zoom in to the picture. So make sure you add small details. So you're zooming into the picture that you want to create in your description. So don't just say the tree. What about saying the tall green tree with rough bark and the bright green leaves? Wow, that's more imaginative, isn't it? And the more imaginative that you are and the greater focus that you give, the easier it is for the reader to see it clearly. And then there's a sense of hearing. So remember, we hear things every day and sometimes we don't really listen. So perhaps practice making a note of things that you hear every day so that you can use them in your description when you need to. So use sound words. Choose words that describe sounds clearly. So, for example, instead of writing the dog made noise, which I don't think you would write, would you? You could write the dog barked loudly, and this helps readers hear the sound in their minds. And don't forget, when we're focusing on language, we think about onomatopoeia. Now, onomatopoeia is where the words that you choose for the impact of the sound. So you choose words that are the sound that you would hear, like crinkled or whistled, or for that particular dog, grr and woof. When you're using description, remember to describe volume and tone. This is really important for that impact of the description you write. So write about loud or soft or the way it sounds. So you might write the gentle rain taps softly on the window. That's lovely, isn't it? It gives that whole idea in the mind of what the rain was doing. Or the music played loudly and made everyone want to dance. That's a good expression as well, isn't it? Both of those ideas would improve your writing. So when you're writing description, add more feeling to volume and tone. Another quick tip for description and sound is to include background sounds. So mention other sounds that are happening around the main sound or the main action within your description. So, for example, you could write, I heard the leaves rustling in the wind and birds chirping happily. Wow, that makes a really rich picture of description because remember, in description, you're trying to create a scene. The next part of the video contains tips on how to use the sense of touch when you're describing. For touch, you need to use clear descriptive words that identify feeling. For example, you could write the soft, warm blanket, which would add that feeling into the idea of writing about a blanket. So remember, the words that you're choosing for feeling or touch are to allow the reader to imagine how it feels when you touch something. And I think those words soft and warm do just that, don't you? Don't forget to describe temperature when you're writing a description. You can write about whether something is hot, cold, warm, or cool. For instance, you might write, "The sun felt warm on my skin," or "The ice cream was cold and creamy." And using those words to identify touch is what gives readers a better idea of the sensation of that feeling. Remember to mention texture. So describe the surface. Use words like smooth, rough, bumpy, sticky, jagged, and melted. So help the reader visualize the feeling of different surfaces. For example, you might write, "The rock was rough and jagged." Or if you're writing about food, "The chocolate was smooth and melted in my mouth." So think, reader, think, visualize, and think, feeling. Next, think about the sense of smell, and don't forget making notes as you're thinking about using the senses in your description. Use simple ideas and words to identify smell. So choose easy words and describe different smells. For example, instead of just writing the food, you could write in your description, "The delicious smell of freshly baked bread." And that really would help the reader imagine that scent, wouldn't it? Remember to describe the strength of smell. That's a really good tip to remember. Talk about or write about how strong or weak a smell is. So could write about strong fragrance, or you could write about a faint, dusty smell. The idea is always to give the reader a clearer picture in their mind of the sense power. In descriptive writing, always connect smells to feelings or memories. So explain how a smell makes you feel or whether it reminds you about something. You could write, "The smell of cookies baking made me feel happy and reminded me of my grandmother." That's lovely, isn't it? But again, it's to help the reader relate to the description. So remember, description, writing about senses, when you write about smells, connection. That's the most important point. Connect to feelings or memories. The next part of the video is about the sense of taste when you're writing description. The tip is to use simple taste words. Choose clear, easy words to describe different tastes. So when you're writing about something, for example, candy, try to think about how that tastes and perhaps use words like sweet and fruity. Again, the impact of your description is how well can you help readers imagine how it tastes. Describe different flavours. Write about the variety of flavours like sweet, sour, salty, bitter. You might write, if writing about lemonade, "The lemonade was tangy and refreshing." This gives the reader a better understanding of that taste. Always connect taste to feelings, and that's when you've written really good description. Explain how a taste makes you feel, or if it reminds you about something. So then we're back to memories, aren't we, for description? How you provoke those memories. For example, you could write, the spicy soup warmed me and made my mouth tingle. Or, as in the picture, the crunchy apple tasted fresh and reminded me of summer. That's good, isn't it? Because that way you help the reader connect with your description. And that's the end of today's video lesson and revision about using the 5 senses for description. If you want to see more videos, subscribe to my channel. If you want to think about the work that we did over the lesson, go back over the video and look again at some of the videos from the playlist about adult home study. Bye now.